Hi, I'm Clarence Jackson. Take a chance against fraud. All right, today, fraud alert, we're going to do a two-part fraud segment on intimidation fraud. Right now, I have someone that's saying they're from the IRS, and they're saying that they have a warrant for my arrest, and they're saying that they have a warrant for my arrest, and they're saying that the police chief and they're part of government. And this is what I do to expose companies like this, to bring it to the forefront. That's why I created Take a Chance Against Fraud, so that way an ex-felon like me can continue bringing the education lessons to you. Now, these people are going to be very, let's just say, aggressive. They were very disrespectful to me earlier. I'm going to play possum a little bit with them. So we're going to play possum. We're going to sit back and we're going to get them to bite into the conversation like they're intimidating. The first person I'm going to call first is I'm going to call the chief, the so-called chief of police, and see if he's going to, I'm going to come off like, I'm getting Ricky on the phone with them. I'm just going to play a role with these people to bring it to the forefront of this type of fraud that's continuing. This sounds like the same people that I had the fraud alert from regarding the mortgage fraud, regarding the grant fraud. It's the same scheme. They're calling from Magic Jack phones. They're calling from other phones, and they even had the audacity to have a phone linked in from a 910 area code, saying that they're from the IRS. Now, what is the chief of? They're the chief of police of Ocean Isle. When is the chief of police going to call you personally and say, I have a warrant for your arrest? I'm not trying to be anything more than what I am as a civil servant of obeying the law, a citizen. I've committed my violations in my past. I've done fraud. I'm not proud of fraud, but I have to take my wrongs and correct them with doing right. And I apologize with some of the technology I have right now. It's not the best. As my funds get bigger and better, I will be able to give you more of a studio look and be more of an invasive and getting more out here in the community, working with churches and organizations that I am working with now. But I can be working with more. My goal is to educate the nation, from my commercials to the scripts that I've prepared that I'm donating to the state of North Carolina, to the insurance industries directly, to utilize. I just really feel good to sleep at night knowing that I'm making a difference. So this is part one of intimidation fraud. So let's go with it. First person we're going to call is the chief of police, supposedly chief of police of Ocean Isle. Now I'm going to come off like I'm intimidated, so I apologize if my acting might be a little subpar, but the whole point is let's expose them. Because I imagine there's millions of people that are intimidated by these type of phone calls, and this person had me for $2,000. All right, let's do what we do. Excuse me. The phone is ringing busy. Okay, so we're gonna call about the chief of police in a minute. We're gonna call now is this so-called person.
Crime Investigation Division. How can I help you?
Yes, sir. Hi, how you doing? This is Clarence Jackson calling back.
Yeah. So, you have been briefed about the case earlier, right?
Excuse me, sir?
I gave you the information regarding the lawsuit filed upon you. And,
excuse me, sir. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, I can.
Is your phone on a speaker phone?
No, it's just how my phone is set up.
All right. So I'll just give you the information regarding this lawsuit. As I already told you that your federal taxes for $2,266 are pending upon your name.
But I don't understand, sir. How would I have $2,000 owed and I was paying bankruptcy?
Yeah, I know that it's not the bankruptcy, but this federal taxes have got to do nothing with this bankruptcy under Chapter 7 or under Chapter 13. So as of right now, you have to clear this balance, which is outstanding on you.
But how did you get that I owe $2,000? I don't understand that.
All right, well, I told you, sir, that it is the federal taxes amount which is pending on you, which you will have to clear it.
Well, look, I only have $1,800. I mean, can I work with that?
Well, we can surely work upon a payment option. You can pay $1,800 today itself, and the rest of that $466 you can pay next month, and we can work upon it.
Oh, okay, I just don't.
Right.
I just don't want no trouble, sir. I mean, I just really want to get this matter straightened out, and I just don't want no trouble. I mean,
sure, there's not a problem in that. The number.
Are you gonna call that sergeant or whatever he is, chief of police? Because he called me and he was like telling me he's gonna come and lock me up, and he's gonna put me in, and I just want to call him back and let him know that I'm making arrangements right now. How do I get the money to you guys?
Sure, I will tell you the procedure how you can make the payment, but you won't be making this payment to us. It would be going directly to the United States government, and I will show you the procedure how it's gonna be done. First of all, I would fix up a meeting with the Bar Council, the attorneys team of North Carolina, who would come down to you to explain your mistakes, and then you will have to make the payment to them. All right? So they can give you a resolvement. You get me, sir?
I'm listening. You say I have to meet with who?
I will send the government attorneys to your doorsteps. Your address is 2248 Freedom Star Drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the attorney's team would come down to you, explain your mistakes, and you'll have to make this outstanding due balance payment to them.
Well, what I don't understand is, how can you come after me for $2,000?
They would be the team of attorneys who was given this job to look into the matter of such cases. So if you want to have resolvement options, there for you to have your.
Do you have a badge number? Since I'm sending this much, paying this money back, do you have a badge number?
Sure, you can write it down.
And do you have where I can
Officer
look
Jordan.
And where I can look you up on the
Pardon?
internet? Where I can look you up at the internet also?
On the internet by my badge ID number.
I'm writing it down.
All right, well, you can write on my badge ID number, but you won't be able to find information upon me. My personal information won't be provided to you. It's very confidential. All right,
Sir,
you can write on my badge ID number. It's A as in.
No, I'm just saying, because I called my bankruptcy attorney, and he made it clear to me, how would the IRS can come down, and I had already paid off my back taxes. Now all of a sudden I owe taxes. That makes no sense.
So this is the last and outstanding balance which is still pending on you. If you clear this amount, then there will be no criminal charges pressed against you. But if you don't, then you won't be able to, the bankruptcy which you have filed, right? It won't be included in this. The legal charges would still go upon you.
You telling me that you would arrest me because of $2,000 and I paid back $47,000, but you would arrest me for $2,000? I find that hard to believe.
Well, $2,266 is the federal taxes which you owe, but for that federal taxes, there are 3 criminal charges against you.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What is my Social Security number?
We cannot provide any confidential detail. I'll give you the last four of your social, 177.
Okay, so you gave up you have my social security, but anybody could have got that off the internet when I applied for a loan.
Okay, let me tell you, Mr. Jackson, I'm not here any bill collector to get this money from you. If you are willing to work upon it, I can surely show you a way out. But if you think that it's not a legit call, then I don't want any of your money, because you're not making me this payment. You're making government the payment.
Okay, well, I'm gonna follow this through, but the first thing I don't find to be very, and I really want to go through this with this, but I'm gonna let you know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Clarence Jackson. Would take a chance against fraud. That if you looked at, since you know so much about me and you know my social security number, okay. I actually am an ex-felon of fraud. And millions of Americans have been taking advantage of situations like this, which you're doing right now. And I understand you say you're legit. And you're going to send the police to my door, which I filed bankruptcy back in 2000. And I paid my bankruptcy and all my back taxes. All of a sudden, miraculously, some taxes have appeared that you're saying that I owe. Then you're trying to intimidate me. And having a police officer, which I do know a few officers at Ocean Isle, that they never heard that chief of police. And
all right, no problem. What I'm telling you, Mr. Jackson, I'm just asking you your intention. If you want to resolve this matter,
if I legitimately owe something, I will pay it off. I am an American citizen here, and I do everything possible to apply to the laws of this land. That's what makes America great. We have laws. But you can't come here saying to me that I owe you 5 nickels if I don't owe you 5 nickels without proper representation. I can't look you up. If you're an IRS agent, you supposed to, or a criminal specialist, you supposed to have all the information where I could find you.
Well, as I told you, you're not paying any money to me, and not
but
right now on the recorded line.
You're part of the IRS. Okay, if you're part of the IRS, you're supposed to give me legitimate documentation, something in writing, sent to my doorstep.
Sure, I'm not denying upon that. I'm not denying upon that you won't be provided with documentation.
I'm gonna get an attorney, and I'm gonna take the necessary steps.
No problem.
I'm gonna get an attorney, and
sure, you can do that.
And my phone. But don't rush out the phone. We having a good conversation here, because if you're legitimate, you wouldn't be intimidated on my questions, or you wouldn't be running from my questions.
I'm not running from your question. I've answered each of your questions.
No. Okay. Because now here come the wolf. Here come the dog now. The dog is coming out now. Let's go with this honestly. First of all, you're an IRS criminal investigator. Why haven't you, one, sent me something in writing? You don't just call somebody up out of the blue, try to intimidate them. You have not.
Okay, now you can speak first of all, or you can allow me to speak.
Go ahead.
If you go on pushing, then I won't be able to give you any information.
Let's go.
All right. So first of all, let me tell you that you're talking about documentation. We all try to send documentation because that's not the way we work. But since we didn't hold, I have got the tracking ID by the U.S. Postal Service that at your doorsteps, delivered to you.
Will you do me a favor, sir? Would you take your Magic Deck phone and talk into your phone so I can hear you, because you're going in and out. And then since you're an IRS investigator, you're supposed to have